What's going on, everybody? Strong Dad here. Welcome, Strong Family. I've got kind of an interesting twist on a reaction that I'm going to be doing today. So I was watching the Taylor Hawkins tribute, as millions of others were, and Dave Grohl came out and he was talking about Taylor's favorite album. And that favorite album is this album right here. Jeff Buckley, Grace. So I just bought this. I'm actually going to be giving this album as a gift to the girls from The Warning when I see them in Las Vegas. I was talking to Danny before they started this fall tour with Hailstorm. I asked her if she'd ever listened to Grace, and she said she had not. So, a little bit of history on Jeff Buckley. He's my favorite singer, performer. Favorite, absolutely, bar none. It was probably about over 25 years ago. I was listening to Bono and The Edge from U2. They were a very big influence as I was growing up. And they were raving about an album, a debut album from someone called Jeff Buckley. And the album was called Grace. And they were raving about it, saying it's the best album they had ever heard. And so immediately, of course, I just had to go all over. Finally, back then it was Tower Records, I think. I went to Tower Records and I found a Jeff Buckley. I think it was a cassette that I purchased back then. It might have even been an 8-track tape. I don't recall exactly, but I bought it and it was on repeat non-stop from the moment I heard it. Now, what some of you don't know, not only was this Taylor Hawkins' favorite singer and favorite album, Matt Bellamy from Muse, he puts Jeff Buckley as probably his main influence with singing. He loved this album so much, Grace, that he bought Jeff Buckley's guitar, the one that he used in recording Grace. I think he paid a record number of cryptocurrency or something to buy it, but he bought that guitar and he used it on his latest album that Matt Bellamy put out. So the guy has a pretty big reach. So I'm gonna stop there with kind of letting me explain Jeff Buckley. I'm going to go over and we're going to listen to some other people talk about Jeff Buckley for a little bit.
Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Today I'm talking about a subject that's oh so close to my heart. I won't just be doing one episode on this person because there's too many things to say. So I'm going to be talking about Jeff Buckley. By popular demand, a lot of people have been asking me about him.
Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Jancy Dunn, and joining me now is my very special guest, Alanis Morissette, whose new album is Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie. Welcome.
Thank you.
We asked Alanis to pick some of the videos that she'd like to see tonight, and the first one she picked is from Jeff Buckley. Why is Jeff dear to your heart?
I just love his spirit and his whole energy, and I also love when men use their voice so unselfconsciously and just really feminine, masculine, all over the place, and he just, he was and is my favorite.
Your very favorite, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a brilliant guitar player, like an amazing guitar player. He was like a fantastic instrumentalist. You hear it a little bit on Night Flight, but you also hear, you hear aspects of the song that, I'd never heard before. There's kind of like a childlike joy in it when he's interpreting it, which I think the whole album kind of has that.
Yes, Jeff Buckley, Grace, I think, from his debut album. very important album in the 90s, and when I started singing, my voice was very high, and it was very, you know, I sang a lot of falsetto, and I felt like this was not really suitable for rock, you know, because in the mid-90s or early 90s, like Nirvana was very popular, and, you know, groups which had a very different type of voice, like a rough voice. So I didn't think my voice was suitable for rock music until I heard this. When I heard this album, it made me feel confident that a high-pitched, softer voice can work very well with rock. You know?
I'm telling you the other day, I had 3 records that year. I had Supergrass's first record, I had Foo Fighters' first record, and I had Jeff Buckley Grace.
Right.
And that was my, you know, Meeting Chicks record. And the other ones were for rockin'.
Gotta bait the hook.
Yeah. And if you throw on some Jeff Buckley, man, you know you're gonna get some action.
You know that the people who cite you, people talk about Jeff Buckley or Freddie Mercury, are you creating a vocal sound in rock music? Are you aware of that? Do you acknowledge that? Do you recognize that?
Well, I know that both, you mentioned 2 spectacular vocalists there. I mean, both of whom had much better chops than me. I mean, real great singers. I mean, Jeff Buckley's voice. I was playing with Jimmy in the mid-90s when we had working with an Egyptian ensemble, and we played in a festival in Switzerland, and Jeff Buckley was playing, and we went to see him, and it was mind-altering, his voice. Spectacular singing, and so much conviction.
I'm constantly surprised that so many people do not know about him still. And at the same time, there's something very, very beautiful about that. It just keeps slowly kind of building, expanding.
Technically, he was the best singer that had appeared probably, I'm not being too liberal about this, if I say in 2 decades.
He tapped into something, and he was the conduit. And it makes me think of this, where does art come from? Where does a true genius come from?
I started to play Grace constantly. And the more I listened to the album, the more I heard, the more I appreciated of Jeff and Jeff's talents and Jeff's technical ability, to which he was just a wizard. And it was close to being my favourite album of the decade.
Yeah, well, I found him because it was actually my wife had him. I had the disc, had him. She wishes. I had the disc, and it came on one night, and you hear that opening tune of Mojo Pin. It's that real soft, that haunting thing off in the distance, and I remember asking her, what is that? And she says, that's Jeff Buckley. And where have I been? What, do I know nothing? And since then, it's just been a bit of an obsession, I guess.
So, one can only imagine what music Jeff would have put out if he hadn't died tragically, almost mythically. I don't know. He was in his prime. He was 30 years old, and he just walked into a river and vanished. And that was it. There was no more music from Jeff Buckley. So, by far, this is my favorite singer. I challenge you. Listen to Grace. Listen to it, and I mean, for some it's an acquired taste. For others, instantly, I can't snap with this hand, instantly they become a huge fan. So let's listen to the song that Brad Pitt was talking about. This is live, by the way.
body will never be safe from harm. Still feel your hair, black ribbons of cold. Touch my skin to keep me whole. Well, if only you come back to me. If you laid out my side, I wouldn't need no Mojo Pin to keep me satisfied.
When I was playing this for both of my boys, and they can attest, I started trying to get them into Jeff Buckley at a very young age, as well as metal and rock. And it worked. Both of them became very big fans. But I remember talking to my oldest son, who was probably 12 at the time, and I was like, if you want to hear somebody that isn't just singing, but they're using their voice as an unbelievable instrument to the best of their possibility, with no boundaries, with no limitations. He could do anything during the song. You'll see here, I'm not going to stop this song a lot, but even this song, which wasn't one of my favorites, I love it. It's a roller coaster, this song, of what he does, the emotion that he's feeling. You can just sense it and you can feel it in the song, Mojo Pin. So, like I said, I'm not going to stop too much. Let's enjoy this entire song and enjoy the roller coaster of this song. Try to feel the emotion as he was writing and playing this.
Don't wanna wait for you, don't wanna know. I'm blind and tortured, the white horses flow. The memories fire, the rhythms fall slow. Black beauty, I love you so. Oh, precious, precious silver and gold, and pearls and oysters flesh. Drop down, we two to serve and pray to love. Born again from the rhythm, screaming down from heaven. Ageless, ageless, and I'm there in your arms. Don't wanna wait for you, don't wanna know. I'm blind and tortured.
Yes. So some of you will get it. Some of you, I know you'll be like, what's the big deal? It's like I said, it's an acquired taste, and it's an acquired listen. I would recommend, Jeff Buckley is not just Hallelujah. Normally, 90% of the people out there know Jeff Buckley from Hallelujah. He's far more than that. So my recommendation to you, Strong Family, listen to this album right here, right here, Grace. It's his first album. It's his debut album, put out in what, 1994, was it? I don't know. I don't remember. A long time ago. Listen to it. Listen to Grace. Listen to, there's so many good, my favorite song is probably Last Goodbye. I remember Dave Grohl's daughter Violet, she sang that at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. Love that song. And there's so many other just unbelievable songs just on this album right here. So, I mean, what can it hurt? Look him up on YouTube. Look him up on Spotify. Give it a shot. Join the club, as Brad Pitt said. You know, the very small but, you know, slowly growing club. And anyways, everybody out there, thanks so much for letting me explain a little bit about my favorite singer, Jeff Buckley. And I hope you watch the whole thing. I hope you give Jeff Buckley a listen and a fair shot. Other than that, thanks so much, everybody, for stopping by. I'm glad to be back and doing some more videos. I've got some warning videos coming up. Speaking of me giving them this album when I go to Las Vegas, I've got a couple warning reactions that I'm doing. Probably going to finish them up today. But anyways, everybody out there, stay strong, stay safe, and also have a safe and wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.